Hello and welcome to the final episode in this series of podcasts for Full Circle, our black comedy that is going to be performed at the Phoenix Theatre in November. And for our final conversation, we've actually got the youngest. She's laughing now. She's thinking this is all very, I don't know. We've actually got our youngest cast member, and that is Mia Field. Hello, Mia. Hello. See, she's very smiley. You can't see, but she is. And she plays Nicky. And Nicky is the daughter of Brian and Linda. And Nicky is the bride-to-be, isn't she?
Yeah. She's super excited, isn't she? She cannot wait.
She cannot wait. And so tell us a little bit about Nicky.
Nicky she's very complete opposite from me. She's very feminine. She loves getting her nails, brows, makeup. She's a full glam diva. Well, not a diva, but she's just all about the glam, which is very different from me. But I quite like that because I felt I can physically transform into her almost. You can put on that side of her that I don't have, which I like.
Yes.
And she's very excited to be a bride. I think.
Yes.
The whole time she's like, this is her dream, as it has been for Linda as well.
Well, that's true.
Exactly.
Yes, Linda gets very into it, doesn't she?
Of course.
Yeah, she's what does Brian say? She's planning the second royal wedding or something.
Very much.
I think yes, yeah. And she and Nicky. So you Mia, and Phil playing your father. There is a connection that perhaps we need to talk about.
Of course. So my dad plays my dad in the play, which is always a good dynamic. Naturally, you have that chemistry on stage, which I just love. I don't feel like I'm trying. It's very natural, and especially with this script, it's very natural conversations. It's stuff that we would probably say at home, which makes it. That's why you love it as well. Like, this play is good. It's great for us,
and it's very well written in terms of, I think, the language. I think for all of us actually feels quite comfortable and feels like we would genuinely say it in that domestic environment. And what I also like about the play is that there are quite a lot of two-hander scenes where it's really quite quick, isn't it, the exchange?
It's quick, but you get to learn the characters. Like, I love the scenes. I literally bounced back from doing a scene with Linda, my mum, and then a scene with my dad, and you learn so much about their dynamics as parents. Like, you realise how close Nicky is with her parents and how she values them, and it's really special moments, I think, actually.
Yes. Because
you see a very relatable side, I can imagine, for most parents, seeing their daughter get married and the sides to that, and it's lovely, I think, people have said to watch.
What would you say if there's somebody younger, so maybe about your age, listening to this? What would you say might appeal to them about the play?
I think the dynamic with their parents, that little like bicker inside, and you're just like, oh, here they go again, and it's like that humorous side, and then, or like the odd next door neighbour, like Will's is very flamboyant, but we've all got that neighbour that is a bit like, oh, crazy or out there, and grandparents, she's very close with her grandparents, and I think that's wonderful, and I like to hope people my age, are close with their grandparents and can relate to that, and I think it's the bond that Nicky has with her whole family is wonderful. And even to do it on stage, I think that'd be quite nice to come and watch. I think
it comes through strongly, doesn't it?
Yes.
And it's also very funny.
Oh, yes.
As well as the sad moments, which we don't talk about.
Of course not.
But, it's... so other people that I've chatted with have talked about the emotional roller coaster that perhaps...
Oh, my God, yes.
The audience might go on.
You do forget, when you're doing it for so long, you think, oh, it's just, you're going through the motions, and then you get to the performance and you forget it's funny sometimes because you hear the laughs, and you might hear some people cry and stuff, and it really is one of those. Me and my dad compare it to like a Ricky Gervais. 1 minute you're laughing in his series, the next minute you're crying because you're like, but that's real life, and I think that's why it's written so well, because it is just day-to-day life. Stuff like this does happen, but that's the beauty of this, really.
Yes, oh, absolutely. And I think that shows how this play quite cleverly takes you through the narrative and guides you and takes you to these emotional places even before you know that you're going to get there. You know, it's quite surprising, and then you find yourself feeling this stuff without perhaps connecting with it in terms of thinking. You know, you're just immersed in it.
And I always think as well with the Phoenix, it's such a intimate theatre, isn't it? You know, there's I don't know how many seats, but you're so close that it feels, I've been told it feels like you're almost in the scene, like you are there, and that's what you want to get. You want to feel that immersive theatre-ness, because then it hits and you're connected more to the audience, and that's what you want to do, is connect and empathise with the audience, and this play is a great one for it, really, for the Phoenix, I think.
Absolutely. Well, that's great. So let's hope we can get lots of people then,
of course,
coming to experience it with us. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mia.